So welcome to Jumbo IS and welcome to our lecture series called Daily MCQ Practice. In this lecture series, we cover a particular day's current affairs through a set of 4 to 5 MCQs. The purpose of this lecture series is twofold. Number one, we want you to revise your current affairs because you have no better way to consolidate your current affairs. You must have read 16 September 2024's current affairs, either through newspapers or watching our lecture series called Daily News in Shorts. So you have covered that day's newspaper or current affairs, but you haven't revised them. So you can revise those current affairs through this lecture series of ours. Number two purpose, which is the more important one, is that we give you the much needed MCQ practice. Through this lecture series, you'll get the much needed MCQ practice from current affairs alone. All right. For MCQ practice of other static subjects like polity, geography, history, there will be other lecture series. But for current affairs alone, this lecture series is a must for you because through this lecture series, on a daily basis, you'll be practicing 4 to 5 MCQs. And by the time you're ready for your next year's prelims examination, you would have covered more than 1200 MCQs. Yes, and that too from current affairs alone. So you won't have to worry about current affairs as far as your prelims examination is concerned. Yes, it's that easy. 4 to 5 MCQs, not more than 10 minutes on a daily basis, would add up to 1200 MCQs. Now that's a lot. Okay, so make this lecture series a part of your daily routine. It's very important. Make it a daily habit of yours. All right, then. Enough of the introduction. Let's straight away jump to this lecture. Question number 1. Consider the following statements regarding the Iron Dome air defense system of Israel. It's a short-range surface-to-air air defense system. It was deployed in 2011 and contains Tamir interceptor missiles. It has three components: radar, weapons control system, and interceptor missiles. How many of the above statements are correct? Now, you must have heard about Israel's Iron Dome. Whenever Israel's enemies attack it with missiles, whether it's Hamas, Houthis, Hezbollah, Iran, whenever they attack Israel with missiles, Israel has a Iron Dome. Israel has a air defense system. Whenever these missiles are being launched on Israel, Israel launches another missile known as the interceptor missiles to destroy these missiles in mid-air and thereby protect its territory from missile attacks. Now, this is known as Israel's Iron Dome. So basically, it is a short-range surface-to-air air defense system. Okay. Now, it was developed by Israel itself, and it was deployed in 2011. And the interceptor missiles that destroy the incoming enemy missiles mid-air are known as Tamir interceptor missiles. Okay. So this part is also correct. Now, this air defense system has three components. It has a radar to detect enemy missiles. Okay, it has a weapons control system which actually connects radar and interceptor missiles. So, whenever the radar catches the information about incoming missile, weapons control system actually alerts the interceptor missile and gives the location of these incoming missiles captured by the radar. So radar gathers the information, weapons control system readies the interceptor missile, and interceptor missiles, the Tamir interceptor missiles, are launched to destroy incoming missiles mid-air. So this part is also correct. All three statements are correct. The answer is C. Question number 2. Which of the following statements regarding dyslexia are correct? It's a neurological disorder that causes reduced intelligence and low IQ, intelligence quotient. It occurs in about 5 to 10% of people worldwide and affects boys more than girls. According to a recent study, the cause of dyslexia might be linked to medulla oblongata of the human brain. Okay, now select the correct option. Now look, what is dyslexia? Dyslexia is a reading disorder. Basically, people suffering from dyslexia find it very difficult to read. What happens is, when we read, we actually recognize symbols with sounds. So, for example, when you're reading, you recognize this symbol with the sound of or A. You recognize this symbol with the sound of B or B. You recognize this symbol with the sound of C, right? So, our brain actually recognizes these symbols with particular sounds. Now, people suffering from dyslexia find it difficult to associate this symbol with the sound A, right? This symbol with the sound B. In their brain, there is a problem which makes it difficult for them to actually interpret symbols, associate those symbols, written symbols, with sounds, which are very important for language, right? And that is why these people find it difficult reading. Clear? Remember, dyslexia is only a reading disorder. It has nothing to do with intelligence. people suffering from dyslexia or dyslexic people are not less intelligent or they don't have low IQ. In fact, Albert Einstein suffered from dyslexia. We all know about Albert Einstein. He gave theory of relativity. Charles Darwin, who gave the theory of evolution, suffered from dyslexia. Many Hollywood stars suffer from dyslexia. Many musicians, ancient classical musicians like Beethoven and many others, they suffered from dyslexia. So dyslexia is not about low intelligence. It's just a reading disorder. These people find it difficult to read. Okay? So this part is false. Now, generally, dyslexia occurs in about 5 to 10% of the population worldwide, and it affects boys more than girls. In fact, number of boys having dyslexia is 2 to 3 times that of girls. Okay, so 2 to 3 times boys are more likely to get dyslexia than girls. So this part is correct. Now, as per the recent study conducted in Germany, they have found that the cause of dyslexia might be in visual thalamus of the human brain, not medulla oblongata, but there is a portion in our brain called visual thalamus. This visual thalamus is associated with our eyes. So basically, when our eyes see something, they pass on that signal to visual thalamus, and visual thalamus actually interprets those signals. Whatever you see through your eyes is interpreted in the visual thalamus portion of your brain. Then that signal gets transferred to cerebral cortex of your brain. So your brain has two parts. Oh, your brain has many parts, but visual thalamus interprets vision, and that vision is then transferred to cerebral cortex, which is the thinking part of your brain. It is associated with thinking, planning, reasoning, emotions, consciousness, right? So whatever you see, that is given to cerebral cortex. Okay, but visual thalamus actually interprets those visual signals. And it is said that dyslexia might be associated with some problem in the visual thalamus, not medulla oblongata. So this is also false. Only 2 is correct. Okay. Question number 3. Consider the following statements. Minimum export price restrictions on various agricultural commodities are put to tackle domestic food inflation. Food inflation can be tackled by reducing import duty on agricultural commodities. Stock holding restrictions on food commodities are put in place to tackle food inflation. Which of the above statements are correct? Now look, recently minimum export price restrictions were lifted from onions and basmati rice. Now, these restrictions have been lifted, but these restrictions were put in place a few months back. Now, why were these restrictions put in place? Because a few months back, India was reeling from or was actually suffering from food inflation. And generally, food inflation happens because there are supply shortages of food products. Okay. Now, most of onions and rice were exported abroad. So, what the government did is, government made it mandatory for exporters to sell onions and rice above a particular price called minimum export price. These exporters cannot sell these products abroad below minimum export price. Now, this measure actually made onions and rice, Indian onions and Indian rice, expensive abroad. That's why Indians were not able to export these products abroad. And that is why these exporters or traders had to sell onions and rice in India only. This actually increased the supply of onions and rice and calmed down inflation in these products. Okay, so minimum export price restrictions were generally put in place to tackle domestic food inflation. This is absolutely correct. Now, food inflation can also be tackled by reducing import duty. Because by reducing import duty, you make it easier for traders to import these products from abroad. And when traders are able to import onions and rice from abroad, this again increases supply in India and reduces food inflation. So, this is also a way of tackling food inflation. Then, generally, to increase supply of agricultural products in India so as to control food inflation, government also puts stock holding restrictions. Now, what do we mean by stock holding restrictions? Government actually issues an order to all the traders that they cannot store agricultural commodities beyond a certain limit. So, beyond a certain limit, traders cannot store agricultural commodities. Generally, what traders do is whenever the prices of particular agricultural commodities rise, they start hoarding them. This causes artificial supply shortages because all these products are kept safe in godowns of these traders. So government actually prevents these traders from saving these products in the godowns, forcing them to sell in the market, thereby increasing supply and reducing food inflation. So stock holding restrictions on food commodities are again put in place to tackle food inflation. This statement is also correct. Therefore, all statements are correct. The correct option is D. All right. And last but not the least, question number 4. Consider the following statements. Phosphoric acid is the key ingredient of diammonium phosphate, the most consumed fertilizer in India. Okay. Phosphoric acid is also the ingredient for manufacture of nickel-cadmium batteries used in electric vehicles. Now, which of the above statements is our correct? Now, look. Phosphoric acid is definitely an important ingredient in diammonium phosphate, DAP. Now, DAP is an important fertilizer used in India, but it's the second most consumed, not the most consumed, second most consumed fertilizer in India. Okay, the most consumed fertilizer in India is urea. So, this statement was absolutely correct except this part, most consumed part. Okay, all right. Now, phosphoric acid has usages in other industries as well. Phosphoric acid is used in the manufacture of batteries. Which type of batteries? Lithium ion batteries, ferrous batteries, okay, phosphate batteries, LFP we call them. So, phosphoric acid is used in the manufacture of LFP batteries, and LFP batteries are used for powering electric vehicles, right? But electric vehicles are also powered by other batteries like nickel cadmium batteries, lead acid batteries, right? So, electric vehicles can be powered by various batteries. Clear? Now, phosphoric acid is used in LFP batteries, not in nickel cadmium batteries. So, phosphoric acid is also the ingredient for manufacture of nickel cadmium batteries. No, had there been LFP batteries written over here, then the statement would have been correct. Okay, but not nickel cadmium batteries. Nickel cadmium batteries are not made from phosphoric acid. So, this statement is also false. Both statements are incorrect. The correct option is neither one nor two. D. All right. And with that, we conclude today's session. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. And I'm sure it has added value to your preparation. Look, if you want to download the PDF file for this lecture, okay, with all the questions discussed in this lecture with the detailed written solution, okay, you can find that in our PDF file, and the PDF file is shared on our Telegram channel. Now, the link to our Telegram channel is provided in the comment section below. So go to that comment section, click on the link, you will reach our Telegram channel, and from there you can download our PDF file for this lecture, 16 September 2024 MCQs. All right? Okay. On that note, I'll be signing off, and I'll see you next time with next day's current affairs through MCQs. Thank you so much for watching, everyone.